Coming to you live from the MediaPlex in downtown Windsor, this is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism.
It's Friday, it's 10 a.m., and we are live. Welcome to MediaPlex Friday Live. First, the news. Morning, I'm Xander Kelly in for Barry Hazelhurst. To start us off, a popular local bakery has decided to close down. The Ernest Bagel Company has been a staple of bagel businesses in Windsor's South Side for 5 whole years. Now, the owner, Tristan Fehrenbach, has decided to close up. In a post on their Facebook page, the company said that it has been a great pleasure getting to know Windsor citizens over the past 5 years, but the company could not have asked for more supportive and generous customers. Sometimes a battle of brains is more interesting than a battle of brawn. Justin Crouch has more.
The University of Windsor has many student-created groups which collaborate and rent out various spaces to hold events like Battle Royale, a discussion on feminism, created by the U Windsor Free Speech Association, taking place at the Vanier Hall campus last Friday. The event, managed by Group President Mark Dumaine, was hosted by Dee Cooper, where 5 guest speakers presented and discussed their opinions amongst each other. The guests included a traditional feminist, a womanist, an anti-feminist, a male feminist, and a Catholic feminist. Many topics from personal perspectives on various issues to hard-hitting topics like abortion were presented and discussed civilly across both a live and at-home audience via their Facebook stream. The 5 guests brought up many ideas and ideologies that clashed with each other. While there was some heat in the room, it was all handled properly and with a good attitude. The U Windsor Free Speech Association holds weekly gatherings that you can follow on their Facebook page, the U Windsor Free Speech Association. For MediaPlex News, I'm Justin Crouch.
Last Monday was Family Day, and Marian Farag was out around town looking for all the events.
It's Power Up and Play on Family Day in Windsor, and many activities are happening all over town for the community. Healthy Kids Community Challenge was encouraging people to stay off the screen and enjoy the day. Adventure Bay Family Water Park was open on Family Day, and children under 12 had a chance to draw a ball for a chance to win free admission. Free public skating was held at Lansbury Lions Rink and Charles Clark Square. Also, free prizes and giveaways were given out to the families. Trace McNeil, coordinator of Lansbury Park, was giving out t-shirts, pedometers, step counters, and over $300 in free Reconnect cards to the public who were skating.
Main goals is to promote the importance of physical activity. Today in particular we're promoting power off and play, so we're trying to advise our youth of the importance of being physically active and staying off of screens, especially today.
Family Day was first observed in Alberta in 1990, followed by Saskatchewan in 2017 and Ontario in 2008. For MediaPlex News, I'm Mariam Farag.
Let's punt it over to Jordan Ferris with a sports report. What you got, Jordan?
Well, thank you, Xander. It seems that the NHL trade frenzy may begin a few days before Monday's deadline. Last night, the New Jersey Devils traded defensive prospect Igor Rykov and a second-round pick in this year's draft to the New York Rangers. The Rangers sent 25-goal scorer Michael Grabner to the Devils in return. This was also the first ever trade between the two teams. As well, the Florida Panthers sent a third-round pick in this year's draft to the Boston Bruins. In return, the Panthers picked up forward Frank Vatrano. And in the Olympic update, Canada currently sits second in medals with 27. This total includes 10 gold, 8 silver, and 9 bronze. This week, Canada came close to 11 gold medals when the women's hockey team lost their championship game in a shootout to the U.S. Canada's golden team this year is the freestyle skiers. Canada has won 7 of their medals in this competition, 4 of which were gold. And the men's hockey team has lost against Germany in the semifinals 4-3. They will play the Czech Republic for bronze. That's all for your sports this morning. Back to you, Xander.
Now let's move it over to weather with Josie. What do we have?
Today we have light drizzles with a high of 11. That's pretty warm for the end of February. Saturday, it gets a bit colder. We will have periods of rain with a high of 4. And Sunday, the rain will continue, but we'll get a bit warmer with a high of 8. That's the 3-day weather forecast. Back to you, Xander.
Today we'll be talking film fests, the Spitfires giving back, studying abroad, and more on this Friday Live. Last Sunday was Action 2018, a comic book convention at the St. Clair Center for the Arts. Ryan Percy was there to give us the scoop.
Like Heroes, Action Windsor 2018 succeeded. The convention was open to all ages, and hundreds of attendees flocked to find a little fun for everyone and smiles all around. Alison O'Toole is an editor from Toronto that came down and says she'll be back.
It's been good. Everyone's really nice. We joke, but having giant bay windows and natural light is so nice. We're so used to having these like underground bunker conventions in Toronto where you're stuck in a basement for 4 days. So coming here and like there's space and everyone's really friendly. It's a really nice vibe. I really enjoy the shows here.
One of the things that makes conventions so unique is people dressing up as their favorite characters. Kyle Casillas is one such cosplayer who dressed as Goro Akechi and talked about cosplay at ActionCon.
The convention's been really cool so far. I haven't seen so many Persona stuff, but I am loving the Sailor Scouts that I see over at the corner over there. And it's great to see everyone so involved in all the cosplay around here as well.
With the convention's success this year, many are eager for next year. For MediaPlex Radio, I'm Ryan Percy.
You've heard of the March of Dimes, but what about the Rock of Dimes? Chelsea Gerard is here to tell us more about that.
Disaster Strike took the title of Rock for Dimes 2018 champions at the annual fundraiser hosted by March of Dimes at Average Joe's on Friday, February 16th. This fundraiser was to raise money for children and adults with physical disabilities. Rock for Dimes has become the March of Dimes national fundraiser to benefit programs such as unemployment, rehabilitation, and over 24 advocacy services across the province. Matt Scalzo, bass player for Disaster Strike, said this opportunity has allowed the band to showcase some of their new music and also support a great cause at the same time.
We're going to be playing a part of Rock for Dimes. We have about 6 or 7 songs that we're going to be doing, a mix of covers and originals. And we're in the competition stages, so hopefully we can win it.
March of Dimes plans to match last year's goal and raise another $10,000 towards March of Dimes programs and services. To date, Rock for Dimes has raised over $27,000, not including this year's event. For MediaPlex News, I'm Chelsea Gerard.
While rock music is sometimes political, there's one thing that always is. That would be the Sports Report with Matt Flood. What's we got, Matt?
All right, thanks, Xander. So this week in politics, the new Democratic MPP for Windsor West, Lisa Gretzky, is pushing for auto workers to get more rights. The push focuses primarily on leave days for auto workers as they do not receive the same amount as other workers under the Employment Standards Act. Gretzky claims to have 1,500 signatures for fair treatment. It's official. Former Ontario PC leader Patrick Brown is in the race for leadership. After resigning his position in January amid sexual assault allegations, information emerged alleging CTV's story on Brown had false information. Brown went on to say his name had been cleared and announced he was running for leadership on February 16th. After being vetted by a party nomination committee along with 3 other candidates, Brown and his competitors were given the green light to officially run on Wednesday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's 8-day trip to India has resulted in $1 billion total investment between Indian and Canadian companies. Canadian companies will be investing approximately $750 million in India, while Indian companies will be investing more than $250 million in Canada. However, the trip has earned Trudeau criticism regarding both the deal and the traditional Indian attire he had worn early in the trip. This has been your Week in Politics. Back to you, Xander.
Thanks. There are many aspiring filmmakers in Windsor, and Amos Johnson has some news for them.
For many aspiring filmmakers out there, you all know what it's like to film your very first short movie and realize it may not be as good as some of your other work, maybe even so bad it's good. Film students at the University of Windsor held their first and worst film festival, screened old movies made by some of their professors and fellow classmates, with the theme consisting of films so bad they're good. Marcus Pascari is a 4th year U Windsor film student whose film, The Good, the Bad, and the Dirge, won second best worst film.
And I decided to make a horror movie because I like this location that I filmed in for a commercial for Comtech. And so I guess it just evolved into this terrible film noir parody.
Whether you think a movie is good or bad, you can still find enjoyment out of it as long as you apply the right mindset. Future film events from the U Windsor students are set to continue at the beginning of March and the middle of April of this year. This has been Amos Johnson for MediaPlex News Radio.
Now, while you may enjoy some of those so bad it's good films, Josie Richards is here to tell you about the best flicks on Netflix.
Welcome to the best flicks on Netflix with your host, Josie Richards. As we get closer to the weekend, I know you all want nothing more than to kick back and relax. And what's a better way to relax than by lying on the couch and binge watching Netflix? That's where I come in. I'll be giving you a weekly recommendation on what I think are the best flicks on Netflix to watch. This week's show is Planet Earth 2. It's an immense nature documentary produced by the BBC that took just under 6 years to film. That's right, 6 whole years. Sadly, there are only 6 episodes to watch, but each one has a theme, is 50 minutes long, and in my opinion, are visual masterpieces. If you've not yet seen the first installment of Planet Earth, don't worry. Each episode is self-contained, so you don't need to watch the first season before you watch this one. So what's there to love? Well, everything. Planet Earth 2 uses some of the latest camera technology. I'm talking about tens of thousands of dollars worth of cameras to truly bring us into the world of each animal they feature. Most of these animals we'd never have the chance to see in real life. And the show weaves stories for both prey and predator that play on our emotions and leaves us cheering not for one side or the other, but both. Planet Earth 2 provides a phenomenal viewing experience by showing us a flourishing world of creatures that we as city dwellers would have never imagined. But if that statement alone is not enough to make you want to watch, here are 3 more reasons. 1. The baby animals. Not only are they super cute, but watching them learn to survive in an unforgiving world will bring tears to your eyes. 2. The incredible camera work. Somehow, they're able to make you feel like you're down in the grass with the field mice, soaring with the eagles, and stalking prey with the jaguars. And 3. The awe factor. Each episode will leave you breathless and awestruck by the sheer beauty of the natural world. And there you have it. Tune into the best flicks on Netflix next week for another recommendation.
Thank you, Josie. Some people love the small city advantages of Windsor. Lori Harrison is here to give us a look into YQG's synergy.
Well, hey, I hope you're having a glorious day out there in Essex County. I want to thank you for stopping by and listening to YQG Synergy with Lori Harrison, the podcast that promotes all things local through participation, working together with our community for a better community. This being my first podcast, I'll fill you in on what you can expect these upcoming weeks. I'll let you know what it's like to be a shopper, a participant, a volunteer, and an attendee at all things Essex County. Do you ever drive by little local shops or restaurants all the time but never stop in? You always wanted to stop in, but wind up opting for the familiar choices of well-known national businesses? Well, let me tell you what it's like to be a shopper at these local businesses. How trying something new and different supports the dreams of local artisans, shops, and restaurant owners. And what about volunteering? Have you ever wanted to volunteer with a local charity or cause, but were just not sure how to go about it? Which ones to choose from? What you have to offer? Well, let me give you some of my insight into the many local charities that I volunteered with. Are you stuck in a rut when it comes to leisure time and weekend activities? Are you looking for fun new things to do with your friends and family? I would love to tell you about my experiences attending local events and participating in local fundraisers such as rappelling down Caesars Windsor for Easter seals, jumping into ice-cold water in the winter for Special Olympics. How about pushing myself through tough, muddy obstacles to raise money for programs at Hotel Duke Grace Hospital? Fundraisers are a great way to interact with the community, network with industry leaders, and have a great time doing unique things that aren't always offered. There are a lot of community calendars out there telling you what's going on, but let me tell you what it's like to be a part of it. And with the new year started, maybe you set yourself a goal of running a 5K, 10K, who knows, maybe a half marathon. Well, I have some great experiences as a novice runner with many local runs in all categories, including the Detroit Free Press International Half Marathon. I would love to motivate and excite you to sign up for your first run. So join me every week as I promote something local as a participant, past and present. Next week, find out all about the Windsor Polar Plunge taking place March 2nd and the many ways you can support their efforts. As a 2-time participant, I can give you a very cool perspective on this fantastic chilly event for a wonderful cause, Special Olympics, which, by the way, my sister was a longtime participant in. So until next week, love local, support local, and remember, when we all work together as a community, we all win. This has been YQG Synergy with Lori Harrison.
With all the love for Windsor, Torsha Veltheisen is here to tell us about how some people are giving back.
Have you ever thought of giving the gift of life? Canadian Blood Services hosted a blood drive at St. Clair College on February 15th with the goal of at least 100 donations from students. Chelsea Daranovsky donated for her first time at the event.
I decided to donate blood because I wanted to save a life, and I actually learned today I saved 3. So I couldn't think if I were in that situation, I want a donation. So I thought I'd do my part, a donation out there.
Blood Services will return to St. Clair College in March. For more information on how to donate, visit www.blood.ca. For MediaPlex News, I'm Torsha Veltheisen.
Let's slap-shot it over to Ferris and Harris with Sports Talk.
Good morning and welcome to Sports Talk with Ferris and Harris. I'm Jordan Ferris.
And I'm Tay Harris.
All right, Tate. Well, it's the NHL trade deadline special today, and the biggest player who's maybe on the move is Erik Karlsson, and he might just be going to Tampa Bay. Is Tampa willing to make this move, and do you think they should?
Well, the crazy part about this is it's not just some rumor made up on Facebook. Mob McKenzie was talking about it in a recent article. Should they make the move? Yeah, it would be great to see him and Hedman play together, but can the move happen? I don't know. What do you think about that, Jordan?
Yeah, I mean, it would be fun. They'd be the NHL's Golden State Warriors. I think they'd be dominant, and I really think this would help them make that playoff push. And, last year was kind of upsetting, but I think if they can do this, they're already halfway there. It's just going to make it even better for them.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. And then Max Pacioretty, one of Montreal's available players, may not be on the move. They're having trouble moving him. Jordan, would it be disappointing if they're unable to move Max?
I think it would be disappointing if they were unable to get something moving and there was a good offer out there. But if there's nothing out there that fits the need of a first-line center or a center prospect, then I think it's the right move to just hold on. Pacioretty's got another year, so he could be a little more valuable to teams. They get to try him in the playoff run, and then next year for their playoff run. I mean, he's having a down year. He's only got 16 goals this year, but he's usually a 30-goal scorer. So if Montreal can just move him for a center prospect, I think that's what we need. And if it's anything less, then I think it would be more disappointing than not moving him.
Is there a center prospect out there that you're kind of hoping Montreal maybe goes for?
Kyrou from St. Louis. I mean, they've been talking to St. Louis a lot, and St. Louis seems to be the team that everyone is establishing with their name. So if hopefully they can get Kyrou or maybe even just Fabry from there, that would be a nice pickup. All right, and that's all for your Sports Talk this week. Tune in next week for more Ferris and Harris Sports Talk, talking sports' hottest topics. And we're just going to send it back to the Zan Man.
Zan-Man? Okay, fine. Careless Maddie was at a fan event where the Windsor Spitfires gave back.
Local Windsor Spitfire fans are rewarded with a fun afternoon of activities and autograph signings. Fans with season tickets were able to meet their favorite players and enjoy an event full of fun activities. Nathan Sellon, the manager of fan development for the Spitfires, said the event was important for the Windsor Spitfire fan community.
This is a day where we give back to our most loyal fans, our season ticket members. So this is a fun day where they can bring out their family, grandkids, things like that. We have a lot of stuff going on. We have a full team autograph session going on right now. Inflatables for the kids, hot dogs, pop given out to everybody. Zoo to You is here, photo booth.
Season tickets range from $400 to $700 a year. From MediaPlex News Radio, I'm Careless Maddie.
With more sports news, let's go to Angelica Haggart, who is going to get us revved up for racing.
Let's talk race cars.
Attention race contestants. Please take your place along the starting line.
I'm Angelica Haggart, and today you're going to learn the difference between the 3 main racing series, NASCAR, Formula One, and my personal favorite, IndyCar. NASCAR, my least favorite of the 3, has been around since 1948. Its home base is in Daytona Beach, Florida, but there are races at more than 100 tracks in 39 states and Canada. NASCAR breaks down into a number of sponsored series, including the Xfinity Series and Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series. There are also truck-only as well as Canada-only affiliated series. The largest NASCAR tracks can hold almost 200,000 spectators. NASCAR cars are what most people think of when they think of car racing. The cars are traditional, stock-style cars and look similar to vehicles you'd see on the car lot for sale. Formula One, or F1, had its inaugural season in 1950. True to its name, each car and driver has a specific set of rules that it must conform to. a formula, if you will. The races are called Grand Prix and are held both on purpose-built circuits and public road courses. Formula One incorporates a points system, and F1 cars are the fastest road racing cars in the world. The series is based in Europe. The cost of mid-level cars in F1 is almost $120 million each. IndyCar is my personal favorite of the racing series. Originally, IndyCar began as two separate series, Indy Racing League and CART. The Indy Racing League was founded in 1994, but CART came first, with sanctioned racing events since 1979. These series combined officially in 2003. Through the split between series and the ultimate combining of the series, the focus was always on the race, especially the Indianapolis 500, a race which predates the sanctioning of either series. Early commercials highlighted the love of the race.
It is a race that only they can create, and it cannot go on without them. It is 500 miles that won't even exist until the first of these men crosses the finish line. For this is a contest between men, the best in their sport, and it is defined by speed, time, and distance.
Since 1997, both series specified technical rules for less expensive cars and production-based engines to make the series more attainable for teams and drivers. IndyCar is often the first series to adopt new safety mechanisms, with only 5 fatal crashes in the history of the series. It was also the first to adopt the safer barrier system, which was first installed at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in Indiana. Now that you know the difference, make sure you're referring to each series as its own. You'll offend less race car fans that way. Each series is completely unique and has its own pros and cons. IndyCar will be the focus of this podcast series, so what would you like to learn about, and who would you like to hear from? Catch me next time as we get revved up for race season.
Finally, this Sunday is the WWE Elimination Chamber pay-per-view. Sanjay Maru and Curlis Matty are in here to tell you what's going on.
Thank you. Thank you, Xander. We kick things off with a rivalry that has seen a lot of its spark die out. We hope this feud will be deleted. Woke and Matt Hardy takes on Bray Wyatt.
The feud has already passed its car. Like, it's already
what? This is just taking all the winds out of your sails. You know what? It seems like the electricity of this feud has completely died out. So let's just move on because no one seems to even care about this feud. Asuka taking on Nia Jax. If Nia Jax wins, she's added to Asuka's championship match at WrestleMania 34.
I think Nia Jax has only been looking strong because they want to build Asuka up when she wins at Elimination Chamber.
Well, for me personally, I think Nia Jax wins, but not by pinfall or submission, so they can still say Asuka's never been pinned or forced to submit, and it creates that triple threat, suspenseful match at WrestleMania 34. How about history being made with the first ever Women's Elimination Chamber match, Alexa Bliss defending against 5 other women vying to take the Raw Women's Championship?
I think Alexa Bliss will win this match. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
I'd have Asuka beat the evil Alexa Bliss.
And who knows, maybe the Ronda Rousey factor plays into the Elimination Chamber.
I think, yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of
maybe
sense.
she makes her debut at WrestleMania, or maybe she comes early at Elimination Chamber. In the main event, we will determine who faces former UFC heavyweight champion Brock Lesnar, the current reigning, defending Universal Heavyweight Champion, Braun Strowman, Elias, Finn Balor, John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and The Miz. One of them are moving on to WrestleMania to take on Braun Strowman.
I forgot to mention that this was the first ever 7-man Elimination Chamber.
That's right, of course. Who do you think takes this?
I feel like it'll be Roman Reigns because they'll have Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar, the rematch for WrestleMania 31.
And for me, they've been building up Braun Strowman for a reason. Where you're going to see Braun versus Brock. We don't need to see Roman versus Brock 2. That is not happening.
I mean, we've already seen Braun versus Brock Lesnar.
That's true. That's
multiple times.
That's true. For me, it's Braun versus Brock. Xander, let's send it back to you. That's your recap for Elimination Chamber this Saturday.
Sounds good, guys. With the idea of next college semester already in the minds of students, Kyle Rose is going to tell us about how some are aiming abroad.
The Study Abroad Tour sponsored by KOM took place at St. Clair College this past week in the hangar. KOM consultants are the official Canadian Information and Application Centre for university transfer options throughout Ireland, the UK, and Australia. Martin Kelly, KOM representative, said St. Clair College students have a unique opportunity with this program because of the transfer credit system.
Students, as long as you're carrying about a 65 to 70% average, you can then seamlessly transfer right into one of St. Clair's degree partners that are overseas. One of the big benefits for it that students are starting to realize is how much credit these schools are actually giving them. They give much more credit than what some of the Ontario universities will do.
The tour usually comes through Ontario colleges once each semester. The last tour to hit St. Clair was in October of last year. Reporting for MediaPlex News Radio, I'm Kyle Rose.
Dave Lafreniere is in the studio to tell us about how Windsor's proximity to Mission gives Go to Hell a whole new meaning.
Looking for a day trip? Why not Go to Hell? Hell, Michigan, a great place to travel to in the winter, especially when it's frozen over. The small hamlet of Hell is about 30 minutes northwest of Ann Arbor, or an hour from downtown Windsor. Kim Yan, the manager at Screams of Hell, an ice crematory and souvenir shop, says they still get guests when hell freezes over.
And a lot of people come in over the holidays or when school is off or breaks come in. So people come here all the time for lots of different reasons. We also have a chapel that people get married in quite often. We do about 70 to 90 weddings a year.
Bradley Wester, a frequent visitor, enjoys kayaking through Hell and recommends the burger at the Hellhole Diner.
It's kind of interesting, coming out here. There's really not a whole lot in Hell. There's only a couple of buildings, and there's a bar and a restaurant next door and a post office, and there's really not a whole lot out here, but it's a really cool place.
Reporting from the gates of Hell for MediaPlex News Radio, I'm David Lafreniere.
Well, thank you for turning in. Friday Live is a presentation of St. Clair College Journalism. Our production team consists of Xander Kelly and Ryan Percy. This week, good contributions from Justin Crouch, Miriam Farag, Matt Flood, Jordan Ferris, Tate Harris, Sanjay Maru, Chelsea Gerard, Ryan Percy, Amos Johnson, Josie Richards, Torsha Veltizen, Carlos Maddie, Kyle Rose, and Dave Lafreniere. I'm Xander Kelly. Have a great weekend, everybody.